인간의 모습을 한 로봇 군단이 다가오고 있습니다.
That's when we start selling hundreds and then thousands of robots.
인류가 만들어낸 그 어떤 발명품보다 인간을 닮은 것이 대량 생산되기 시작했죠.
We have a capacity of over 10,000 robots.
At a mechanical level, at a physical level, you can run away from it.
이들이 만드는 미래가 유토피아일지 디스토피아일지 궁금해서 세계 최초의 휴머노이드 공장에 들어가 봤습니다.
Here's Digit. Let's walk around on this side.
이 공장에서 생산 중인 로봇 디짓입니다. 특기는 짐들기죠.
So here we have Digit doing its job. Digit is picking up these bins, and these bins can be fairly heavy, even up to like 25 kilograms.
25 kilograms.
Yes, put them on the conveyor belt and then just repeat all day long. That's what robots are good at doing, repetitive tasks.
그런데 잘 보니까 디짓은 상자 모양에 따라 손을 다르게 쓰고 있더라고요.
The way Digit grip this box and grip that box is different.
A little bit different. There are 7 stereo cameras all around the robot. So it has a depth map of everything around it, and it can recognize the different types of boxes and totes that it's about to grasp. And so it's deciding, it knows where the handles are, and it decides how to grasp each different thing. Another use case where it needs to pull these totes off of an AMR or off of a shelf, and it will bend down, grasp the side of it, slide it out, grasp the other end of it, and then pick it up. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that the robot will grasp different things.
Automatically or
Automatically, yes.
Wow. 디짓이 하는 버전을 그대로 따라서 제가 박스 한번 들어볼게요. 진짜 무거운데? 디짓 힘 세네. 저거 반 옮기면 한 20개 옮기면 디짓처럼 이렇게 누워 있을 것 같아. 뒤에 디짓이 쉬고 계십니다.
디짓은 세계 최초로 취직한 인간형 로봇인데요. 전 세계 수십 개국의 제품을 배송하는 대기업 GXO에 작년에 취직했죠. 디짓이 하는 일은 단순해요. 자동화된 카트와 자동화된 컨베이어 벨트 사이에서 4시간 연속 짐만 옮겨요. 4시간이 지나서 배터리가 떨어지면 알아서 충전소에 가서 2시간 충전하고 복귀하죠. 디짓이 일하는 곳은 통로가 좁아서 기존의 큰 로봇들을 놓는 자동화하기가 어려운 영역이에요.
And that's a really important piece of history now that I think maybe today people don't notice, but in 20 years or 30 years, when we have humanoid robots helping us at home, and you say, man, what were the first humanoid robots? And the first commercially deployed humanoid is Digit.
How much is Digit's salary?
We can't talk about it, but I can say that this is providing a return on investment for people.
인간형 로봇이 인간의 노동을 대체하려는 지금의 변화는 사실 4년 전 이날이 꽤 중요한 시작점이었어요. 테슬라 행사에서 일론 머스크가 인간을 닮은 로봇을 대량 생산하겠다고 발표한 거예요.
Is you can run away from it.
당시 사람들은 웃었지만 테슬라는 1년 뒤에 정말로 로봇을 만들었고 지금은 테슬라 공장에 도입되려고 하죠. 심지어 BMW와 현대차도 인간형 로봇을 시범 도입했고 엔비디아와 구글 같은 빅테크 기업도 로봇에 필요한 피지컬 AI 개발에 뛰어들고 있죠. 이건 큰 변화인데요. 20년 전에 나온 최초의 인간형 로봇 아시모도, 우리나라의 휴보도 걷거나 춤추는 정도였고 10년 전에 나온 아틀라스도 화려한 무술 동작을 했지 문을 여는 것 같은 실생활에 필요한 업무는 영 못했거든요. 그러다 일론 머스크의 발표에 최근 AI 혁명까지 이어지면서 인간형 로봇 기업에 투자가 몰리고 있는데
I don't see many of the humanoid companies are not our competitors. Let's say Unitree as an example. They're an excellent company, but their robots are about this tall, and they're great for researchers, but the robots can't lift 16 kilograms or 25 kilograms. They don't have a 4-hour battery life. They can't charge quickly. They're not durable. They're not an industrial product.
그러면 실제 BMW 공장에서 일하는 이 로봇 이건 어떨까요?
What about Figure AI?
Figure is more of a fundraising company. They are really very good at crafting their story. It's very relatively easy to show cool demonstrations and technology demos, but until you get to that really reliable level of the robot can do the task all day long, then it's just a demo. And that's a really, really big difference.
경쟁이 정말 뜨겁죠? 하지만 피규어 AI의 CEO도 로봇이 공장에서 일하고 있는 영상을 올리긴 했어요. 다만 피규어 AI의 영상은 1분 24초짜리고 어질리티는 7시간 노동 라이브를 올린 거죠. 누가 더 나은지는 여러분이 판단해보세요.
How did you train Digit like that?
When you say train the robot, there's many different things that could mean. We tell the robot what steps to take. We say, we want you to pick the bins up from here and walk over here and set it here. And then each of the skills that it would need, each grasp, each set, then the engineers train that with some iteration, and they try it 100 times, 1,000 times until they've got it down. And then we can change the workflow easily. So we move it to a new space, and now the conveyor belt's over there, and now the stacks are over there. That's quick.
어질리티는 더 많은 로봇을 생산해서 다른 공장에 팔려고 2023년에 바로 여기 인간용 로봇 제조 시설을 세계 최초로 지었어요. 공장은 약 5,000평 크기인데 여기가 아까 디짓이 상자로 옮기던 곳, 로봇을 실전 배치하기 전에 마지막으로 테스트를 하는 공간이에요. 그리고 재고를 쌓아두는 곳과 로봇의 사지가 조립되는 곳이 있죠. 이 넓은 공장을 공장장인 이분이 소개시켜 주셨어요.
Have this factory been covered in broadcast or other media?
I think yes.
What about Korean media?
I don't believe so. Yeah. Don't believe so. Yes. So this is an example of a right arm assembly.
Can I hold one of the arms?
Stay right there.
Really?
It's a little bit heavy. Ready?
Yeah. Wow, much heavier than I thought.
I'm guessing about maybe 20 pounds. Yeah.
This is the part
Right.
for hands.
Right, and we'll put the hand, the claws there.
Definitely longer than my arms.
Yeah, it's got to reach the standard for pulling racks.
Yeah,
told
right. That's my problem.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get stuff from
From
high.
your kitchen cabinets.
Yeah. I always need chairs. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
물론 디짓은 낮은 곳에 있는 물건도 잘 짚습니다. 다리를 이렇게 접었다 펼 수 있어서 그런 거죠. 근데 그 다리를 자세히 보니까 인간형이기엔 다리 모양이 사람이랑 좀 다르더라고요.
The shape
Yes.
of the legs.
Uh-huh.
I thought how to bend
Yeah,
is
it's-
opposite to my
Well,
leg.
I would think it's more like a bird. The little black part on the top is its thigh, and then a long shin that comes back. And it's walking around on its toes. But we're just making comparison to biology. We're not trying to copy the shape of an animal. Our next robot is going to look more like a human just because we discovered from first physics principles why that's better for manipulation, for lifting things.
Wow,
And
interesting.
it makes sense when you think about it. How many animals are able to lift their entire body weight off the ground and up over their head, Humans are unique in that.
Very interesting. I wonder how do you feel about that you are making robot which looks like you?
I'm actually frustrated by it. It is very easy to make a robot that looks like a person. A lot of people who are building humanoids are just copying a person. I'm a little frustrated that we're going to end up with that same thing. But under the hood, we understand exactly why each of those features is the way it is, and our robot will work much better.
디짓의 새로운 버전은 2025년 말에 나오는데 그때 디짓이 사람을 만나면 이렇게 주저앉을지도 몰라요.
Our next version of the robot has a whole array of cameras that can reliably detect people. And so when a person is approaching the robot will know to stop what it's doing and even sit down on the ground, and that way the robot could never fall on a person. Because the robot needs to be able to go and touch things all the time that are objects in the world. But the robot is not allowed to touch a person. That's the scaling moment. That's when we start selling hundreds and then thousands of robots.
I really wanna have a Digit at my home. When do you think you could?
I think by the time I'm old enough to really need help in my house, Digit will be ready.
I don't know your age.
Yeah,
so-
I'm 46, so
Ah.
when I'm like 85, I'm pretty confident that in 40 years we're going to have humanoid robots that are able to help us in our homes.
Why do you think so?
Because I don't think that will happen in 10 years for the safety reasons. Think of autonomous vehicles. We had autonomous driving 30 years ago. Just now is it really starting to deploy widely. And I think that's a common kind of timeline. We have humanoid robots now, the first being commercially deployed in the easy use cases. Autonomous vehicles didn't have an easy use case. They had to do the whole thing before they could be deployed because people's lives are in their hands, right? Humanoid robots are going to need to be at that level of capability before they can go in people's homes.
공장은 대체로 비슷하게 생겼지만 가정은 다 다르게 생겼어요. 게다가 공장 일은 반복 작업이지만 집안일은 아주 다양하죠. 아직 로봇은 이렇게 새로운 환경에 적응할 줄 몰라서 지금의 로봇이 집에 들어오면 아이랑 인형을 구분하지 못할 수도 있어요. 그래서 가정에 들어가는 건 아직 꽤 먼 일인 거죠.
Until then, there are many $100+ billion markets on the way to getting there. Like right now, this year, and over the next 5 years and 10 years, thousands and thousands of robots can be deployed doing the dull, dirty, dangerous stuff. And with all the labor shortages that we have, it's going to be a big deal. It's coming.
제가 사실은 미국에 오기 전에 막 이런저런 뉴스를 볼 때 피겨 AI가 뭐 1년에 10,000대 생산하겠다, 테슬라가 뭐 얼마나 생산하겠다, 중국이 막 훨씬 더 많이 생산하겠다 이런 뉴스 볼 때마다 약간 뻥카라고 하면 안 되고 좀 반신반의했거든요. 근데 진짜 어질리티에 와서 세계 최초의 휴머노이드 공장을 보니까 아 진짜 휴머노이드 양산 체제에 돌입했구나. 하지만 조나단 허스트 씨가 얘기했던 대로 우리 일상에 아주 가까이 오기까지는 꽤 한참 남았다는 거. 근데 그래도 40년 후면 제가 할머니가 됐을 때는 이 친구가 빨래해줬으면 좋겠다. 40년 뒤에 정말 그런 미래가 올지 같이 기다려보시죠. 가시죠. 한국으로. 아 휴대폰 놓고 다니시면 안 돼요, 미국에서.